Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. Before we do, can I get everyone to make sure your doors are shut and your other devices are turned off? I'm going to cover quite a bit of information in a short period of time, so I'll need your full attention. Also, everyone on this call will receive a copy of this training and the material at the end of the broadcast. My name is Chris Duffield, and I'm an account executive for Newline Mortgage. This class is part of a series of classes designed for loan officers that are either new to VA purchase loans or just need a refresher. For about the next 30 minutes, we're going to go ahead and review a title report and how it pertains to our VA loans. Before we get started, I would like to take a moment and ask you for your business. As an AE, I'm paid commission, so the best compliment you can give me is to send me a loan. If you find this training useful and learn something new, please send me a loan on any product. Newline offers some great FHA, VA, conventional, and USDA pricing right now, and we have many other trainings available on these products and other subjects as well. So if you need any training, please don't hesitate to contact me. So let's go ahead and get started. The preliminary title report analysis. A preliminary report is a commitment for title insurance subject to fulfilling all items listed under Schedule B, Section 1. The preliminary report lists in advance of purchase title defects, liens, and encumbrances which would be excluded from coverage if the requested title insurance policy were to be issued as of the date of the preliminary report. The report may then be reviewed and discussed by the parties to a real estate transaction and their agents. Thus, a preliminary title report provides the opportunity to seek the removal of items referenced in the report which are objectionable to the buyer prior to purchase or objectionable to the lender as well. Title insurance insures the lender, the borrower, and seller against any defects as a result of not fulfilling all the items listed under Schedule B, Section 1. Lenders also require the following endorsements. We require the 100, the 116, and the 8.1. The 100 insures against encroachments, improvements located on the land onto adjoining lands, and vice versa. Also ensures that CC&Rs are not violated now or in the future that will impair the lien. So you guys, encroachments could be like a power line, perhaps, is a good example of an encroachment. Something foreign that is basically encroaching the property line. In Sugar House, if you're familiar with Salt Lake City, Utah, there's an area called Sugar House. It is an area filled with old homes built in the early 1900s. And a lot of these homes are on top of each other, and you have basically the eaves encroaching on other property lines. So there's 4-foot eaves on these bungalow homes, and they do encroach the property line because they hang over. So that's what an encroachment is. The 116 endorsement identifies the structure on the land and its correct location and address. And the endorsement 8.1 ensures your lien has priority over environmental protection liens. So you can see there's a lot of benefit here for the borrower and the lender and the seller by having title insurance. We're all insured for any of these things that if they're not properly disclosed and properly handled by title, then of course they're paying for any issues as a result. When taking title, typically vested owners will hold title as joint tenants under rights of survivorship or tenants in common with an undivided interest without rights of survivorship or as a single person. Those are the three most common ways of taking title, and that is addressed in the title report. So what I've done is I've taken a snapshot of a title report, and we're going to review the different sections. Under Schedule A, this section establishes the terms of the policy, i.e. the policy amount and premium, who's insured, who's entitled, the endorsements to be issued, vesting, who is currently on title, and provides the legally recorded description and property address. So as you can see here, you've got your different policy amounts. You've got the lender's policy and you've got the owner's policy. And then you've got here how title is going to be vested. And then you've got down here the address of the property. Now, all of those need to be accurate, so you definitely want to be double checking the names and the address and make sure they match the rest of the file and make sure they're accurate, because all the information that we are using is coming from that data. So if the name is wrong, the address is wrong, then we could have erroneous information on the title report itself. Under that section, possible documentation requirements, all public records are searched based on the information in this schedule. Like I said, if any of that's incorrect, there could be erroneous information. We do need to address any judgments, tax liens, title transfers. We need to address those on the borrower's side. If anything appears, they'll most likely need to be satisfied. We're not worried about the seller's side. Double check your borrower's names against the other documents in the file. The owner's policy should equal the sales price, and the lender's policy should equal the loan amount, including your VA funding fee. The vesting must be fee simple, or the subject property is not eligible for VA. And the seller must match the purchase contract or must be an authorized agent if the seller is an entity, like a property management company. Documentation may be required to prove the seller is an authorized agent of an entity. The proposal under New Line Mortgage must be accurate. Okay, in Section B1, this section establishes the requirements to be met to ensure the transaction. This section establishes the requirements to be met to ensure the transaction as proposed in Schedule A. It identifies what documents must be obtained prior to or at the time of closing to properly transfer title from one party to another and to perfect the desired lien position. So basically, title is listing here all the requirements that need to be done to transfer the title correctly, pay off, reconvey the old lien, and record the new liens, record the new owners. It's all listed in Schedule B1. Not a lot for us to do in Schedule B1. Schedule B2, this section establishes all the exceptions that will be allowed and not to be allowed to remain on the policy. These include taxes. I mean, basically your taxes are always going to reflect the current tax lien, probably not yet due and payable. Any delinquent taxes or sales taxes will also be reflected and need to be brought current. Municipality information for special assessments. Special assessments include, but are not limited to, street lighting, curb, gutter, street widening, municipal water. Okay, so special assessments and then easements. These are rights of way or encroachments such as utility easements, shared driveways, public easements. So if you have any of these types of assessments or easements, depending on what it is, we may need to have that addressed by the appraiser, especially if it's a right-of-way like a shared driveway, or we may need a maintenance agreement, or the appraiser may need to comment on that. If it's a utility easement, basically the utility company has the right to walk on your property and check your gas meter. Not a big deal, but if the utility company has the right to drive on your property for whatever reason, that's something we may have to have the appraiser address. We're just asking the appraiser to address these easements and if they have any adverse market effect, if they affect the functional utility of the home or affect the value in any way. Covenants, conditions, and restrictions. These are restrictive limitations that may be placed on the property. Okay, so these are recorded with the title. They're not limited to condos and PUDs. A subdivision or development could have one as well. VA must approve all CC&Rs associated with condos. VA does not have to approve the CC&Rs associated with anything else, just the condos. And it's also, as per the purchase agreement, if there are recorded CC&Rs, the seller is supposed to provide a copy of those to the borrower for review. So, of course, deed of trust, assignment deed of trust, those need to be executed at the time of closing. Judgments, any judgment listed on the title report for the borrower needs to be satisfied. Same with federal tax liens, maybe some miscellaneous liens. They do review divorce decrees, as do we, to make sure that we've got everything handled that could show up in a divorce decree. And then bankruptcies are also listed on title, but obviously those are listed on credit, and we're addressing those in other places in the file. Okay, and there's attachments that should be included with all title reports. The wire instructions should be included with title. This would include instructions to the closer in regards to where to send the wire, and includes Newline's mortgagee clause. They should also attach a fee sheet, which is a list of the title's fees. And they should also attach a closing protection letter, and I've included a sample of that below. You guys, I'm going to send you an example of a title report so that you can read through it and see if you have any other questions. You can contact me if you do, but here's a sample title report, and you are welcome to read through it and compare that to my training, and it should be pretty complete. Oops. And let's see. Yeah, so this is a sample title report. It can be quite long. There's a lot of legalese in there, things in there that we don't need to read out. To always include a plat map as well. And then what else? Oh, and here's another sample of the closing protection letter. This protects us all if the title company has made any mistakes. And you guys are going to get a copy of that. All right, so that is it. Kind of short and sweet on the title report analysis. Again, my name is Chris Duffield. I'm with Newline Mortgage. If you found my training useful, please send me a loan. You can call me at 759-8521 or email me at kduffield@nlmtg.com. Let me know if you have any product, pricing, or scenario questions. Thanks. Have a great day.